Sir, 15 honorable members have spoken, and so rather than questions, one has been able to get a lot of valuable suggestions from honorable members, and I appreciate the suggestions which have come from honorable members from different parts of the country. Sir, I would like to read out, sir, parts of the letter written by the Government of India to IOC on the 21st of November 2012. So the government had preempted that such a situation may arise where IOC de-recognizes IOA. So we had, I'll just read, it's a 2-page letter, I'm just going to read a few sentences. I'm writing this letter in connection with the International Olympic Committee letter, letter number 2012, dated JPY, dated 12 November 2012, addressed to the acting president of the Indian Olympic Association. And sir, I would like to clarify that the Government of India has no intention whatsoever to interfere in the functioning of the IOA. All the sports code seeks to achieve is to ensure that the elections of the IOA and other sports bodies are fair, transparent, and with the sports charter, Olympic Charter. The code, in fact, enshrines the principles contained in the Olympic Charter, and that why even the Court of India have endorsed the code. Sir, the letter further states that the Government of India would be extremely happy to discuss issues of good governance and fair elections processes with the IOC. I am sure that one such meeting takes place, IOC itself will appreciate the principles behind the sports code. May I also request IOC to kindly consider a meeting in India with the representatives of the Sports Ministry and perhaps the IOA to sort out these issues. If you agree to such a meeting, could we request that the elections of the IOA be held only after an attempt is made to sort out the issues mutually? Sir, my intention to read this letter was that the Government of India had taken preemptive steps and was very, very worried about the situation which may arise. Sir, I would also like to state here that the Olympic Charter and the Sports Code, so the two are very, very similar, and all what we had requested the IOA to do was please incorporate the sports code, some of the features of the sports code into their constitution, whereby the interference factor will not come and it will be also according to the IOC Charter. So, sir, all they had to do was that incorporate some of these things which are common both in the sports code and the IOC Charter into their constitution, and this situation wouldn't have arisen. Sir, also I would like to thank the honorable members of Parliament who had given their suggestions here today, and would like to say a few some of those points which they had raised. So I feel that all the honorable members of Parliament, including the Leader of Opposition, appreciates that it is very, very important to have good governance, accountability and transparency in associations, federations. And so we owe that to the sports persons of the country. So the primary responsibility, one of the primary responsibility of associations, federations is to get talent, to organize talent hunt, to try and get talent from grassroots, pick them up when they are young, give them training, organize sports events, and try and bring the sports persons to international standards. And the government of India funds such events, funds such camps, and sir, as Honorable Leader of Opposition was mentioning, and Shri Ravi Shankar Prasad ji was also mentioning, that it is very, very important that we go to the grassroots, we go to villages, try and find talent there and develop talent. Sir, the budget for the infrastructure component of under PICA is 235 crores. Under the USIS scheme is 40 crores. So of course this budget for the Department of Sports is 740 crores. Of course we are being threatened with a cut. But I would like to request all honorable members of Parliament that, sir, we need more money for sports. We are also planning to try and, sorry? So we seek your support on this, and request that during the during the budget session in Parliament, we would be able to. So I have support. So I'm asking for your help. With your support, sir. I'm already asking. I'm asking that we need your support. Absolutely. So I'm taking this opportunity to request you. Sir, along with this, there has been other mentions regarding, sir, I would also like to state here that we want a good relationship and relations with the associations and federations. Because without them, the sports is not going to benefit, the sportsmen are not going to benefit. But sir, of course, like the Honorable Leader of Opposition mentioned, and I fully agree with his suggestions, that it is very, very important that we have a mechanism in place where good governance, transparency, accountability can be incorporated in the constitutions of these federations. So I am very happy to tell you today that the number of federations which have amended their constitution, there are 4 of these associations, including chess, canoeing, badminton, bridge federation, etc. And 48 federations who are in agreement to modify their constitutions and bring in good governance, accountability, transparency. Sir, lastly, I would like to mention what Shri N.K. Singh ji had said, that the government is planning and is speaking to all stakeholders. I'm going to speak to all honorable members of Parliament. I'm going to speak to all the sportspersons, all the federations. We are going to have a dialogue and form a vision document, a policy of how we want to take the department forward, how do we want to develop sports in the next 10 years, till the next Olympic elections. We all want to see India as at number 1 in the next Olympics. How do we get there? How do we bring talent from the grassroots? how do we get better coaches? So there are a lot of challenges which we have to face, especially in terms of recruitment of coaches, developing coaches, teaching coaches. So at the last, I would like to thank all the honorable members for their suggestions and would like to assure the House. So if you want, I can answer your, I was looking at. So regarding,
Mr. Sir, can you think that you send coaches, instead of sending coaches, individual coaches to abroad for training purposes, if you bring some international coaches, train the coaches here, that will be more helpful, if you can consider.
We are doing both. Recently also we are going to send our coaches to be trained abroad, but we have a large number of foreign coaches coming from all over the world who are specialists in the discipline to come and teach here. So sir, we are also trying to build capacity of training our coaches by introducing various other disciplines with other courses. Sir, at the end, I would like to thank all the honorable members for their suggestions, and I would like to assure the House that as far as sports persons go, as far as honorable members had mentioned, that the next event is going to be in 2013, 2014, 2016. Sir, we would like to see our sportspersons win medals under the Indian flag. But for a temporary period, for an interim period, if this is not possible due to the internal fights between IOA and IOC, we have spoken to IOC and they have given us an assurance that Indian sportsmen will not suffer and they can win medals under the IOC flag. But sir, the government is working 24 hours 7, is working 24 hours 7, is willing to, sir? Absolutely, I respect the autonomy. The government does not want to enforce anything, but sir, you will also appreciate that it is very important that the associations also bring in transparency. The associations also bring in good governance. Absolutely.
Okay.
And I appeal.
Okay, please.
Sir, I appeal.
Okay. That's over. No, please. No, over. No, please. No,
That's
please.
why.
That's over. That's over. That's over.
So that's why I
That's
appeal.
over. That's all. Now, Minister, you need not reply to every question again.
How the voice will come out, sir?
Take a seat. Minister need not reply to every question like that. It's everybody. I allowed everybody.
Sir, I appeal to even the federations and the associations that they have to bring in good governance to promote sports.
Yes.
To bring in a lot of sports persons also. To bring in sports persons also, retired sports persons also who have won medals internationally and nationally in their sports federations to increase the effectiveness of their sports. Sir, thank you very much, and thank you all the members for their suggestions.
Yeah.
And I assure you that the government will work 24/7 to resolve this issue and promote sports in this country.
No, that
thank you.
is not possible. That is not possible.
I'm not speaking.